Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Daniel, and nice that you be here, because that means this is episode number 2 and you actually tuned in to episode number 2. What are we going to talk about today? Because I want to also structure this daily vlog series a little bit more. Today I want to talk a little bit about how I kind of like chunked down the process of writing on my first book at the moment. How I see it. Because I'm honest with you, the process of writing a big book for me is still like, what am I doing? I have no idea what I'm doing, and many times I'm just scared, and then I continue with doing something else, like recording a video to YouTube. But I figured out there's a really good strategy how you can write a book, how it's not so complicated to write the book, and this is by blogging. Yes, it's that simple. It's blogging. What is it? What am I talking about? So my main business, and this is why it's also very interesting, the business where I make my money at the moment is my Canada blog. And my Canada blog, I started it in 2nd of October in 2016. This is when I released it. It's about Canada. It's a niche website where I help Germans who want to come to Canada. And in the last 3 years, it became one of the most visited websites in Germany for the working holiday visa, which is kind of an achievement. But what I wasn't doing as much yet was to kind of like implement and try to make it as a business. So for example, if you have an online business, if you have your own website or your own presence, you can always try to create your own products that can be so different things. Like if you're on YouTube, if you make photos, you can make lot packs, you can make courses, talk about the things that you learn so that people can learn from you. Obviously, my agenda or my ideas is to give the knowledge as much as I can for free here on YouTube. This is basically what my whole thing is about, that you have the knowledge. Because there's a point on that. If you give knowledge for free, and this is why my website became so popular, I combined videos on YouTube with my blog. Every article, or almost every article, has this double structure so that you, as a viewer or the reader, can always decide between, I want to read about this stuff and kind of like go through it step by step, or I can watch the video, sit back and listen to what Daniel has to tell me and kind of like notice that. Because nowadays, and I'm the same, I read. I have a practice every morning. I read a lot, but I'm not reading that much like some of my other, like the older generations. They were reading so many things. And I still want to come to reading because I experienced since I started my business, how important and how much knowledge you can actually get from reading. But this is not about reading today. It's about writing this book. So if you have a blog about your topic where you're passionate about, you can start writing article by article, and there's a big opportunity in this. Every time when you release something to the internet, you will get feedback. So you get a loop where you can see that what you are writing is actually working or helping people. You will get comments. You can see how it performs. And if it's not working good, you can also see that. So that means your kind of like every chapter or your every under chapter, you can break it down, release it to the internet, and even see how you were doing it. This is one major advantage over, like, let's say traditional publishing, where you kind of like wrote everything from the book until it's finished and then you release it, and then it's kind of like hope marketing that everything will turn out good. It doesn't mean it doesn't work that way. It doesn't mean that that's a bad advice, but I want to kind of like point into the direction why blogging can help you creating your first book. Because when you see that, I was actually writing on my Canada book since the last 3 years, because every article, every blog article is a part or can be a part of my book. So is there a moral problem with this? I have to say you straight. First I thought, yes, I cannot put the same stuff in my book, right? But then I realized something very powerful. So number one, this is backed up by data over the years, because I use Google Analytics on my website. This is one of the first things that I implemented in my website. I can see that the people on average don't go through all of my blog articles. Many of them, they go through 2-3 articles, that's it. So I don't know what it is. I think it's a part of laziness. We want to have everything served to us. And if they have to click like 3 or 4 times on the website, it's already too much. It's so much easier to go to YouTube. So the average person normally watches more of my YouTube videos than actually going through my blog articles. So when you consider that, that means that if I can give them everything on a silver plate, they're more likely to take it, because that's what a book is about. A book, you have everything wherever you are on your pocket, And this knowledge is not coming from myself. I didn't experience or kind of like found out about it. This is stuff that other bloggers tell as well. So you can, if you have an expertise in something and you have a blog where you actually make free content about every specific article, one topic, you can put them all together in a book and you can sell them and you will not get bad feedback. What I obviously will do is I will not try to make the book so bad that you can actually see that it's just one-on-one copy. So I still will edit everything so that it's one flow, so that the book in itself will help the main problem, which in my case, for example, is the people who want to come to Canada. They want to have a guideline through all the steps that they can do. And how I can make the book even more valuable, and this is what I'm doing right now, is to every step I try to over-deliver, to write a little bit more, to write a little bit more information, to kind of like give my experience, because this is where I become unique, right? Because I did all of that. I wasn't not talking about it and I never did it. I lived working holiday the last 4.5 years and I was traveling through all those countries. So I have the knowledge and I want to kind of back up the knowledge, or back up the book with this knowledge, so that the people have more options and see what they can actually achieve and put this all into the book. Yeah, so this is what I'm doing right now. This is why I also want to document everything, because it's very interesting. It's my very first book, and I was listening to a podcast. Yeah, that's something I started as well. I would recommend for you, if you start something, do it too. It's really nice because I do that for a couple of things. First, I walk. So I have exercise. I still go to the gym, but not as often. But walking is really, really nice. I started that in Melbourne. I listen to podcasts. I sometimes even practice. So it's a secret. I sometimes just continue talking, or like I mimic what they are saying to kind of practice my English, especially now since I'm back here in Germany, where everything surround me is now German and not English anymore. And then you get, while you're listening to a podcast, you get new insights, new ideas. I listen to a lot of business-related podcasts, or now in the middle of the writing process, I listen to self-published podcasts or writers' podcasts where they talk about the process of making their first book and how they kind of market their book and all those kind of things that kind of brings me new ideas. And this is also something, I have so many ideas in my head and so many things that I already collected and learned in the last couple of years, that this is something interesting also for you here on my channel and where I will go through. Today, I'm already at 7 minutes. My battery is now going to an end. This is episode number 2. I wish you guys still an amazing Christmas time. And this today was just a recap. Start your book by writing articles on a blog. You can test it out. You don't have to make the full book. We'll see us tomorrow in the next episode. I'm Daniel. Bye, bye, bye.